So before we get into the top stories, I want to address what has happened recently. Um, Recently, you know the shootings that have happened in both Ferguson and Detroit, or not Detroit, Ferguson and New York. One of which, you know, was shrouded in mystery and probably had a lot of loose ends that should not have been that loose. Um, Honestly, there's still an investigation going on into this. And I think we need to understand that all that is still being uh, being assessed. And and I think we've jumped to conclusions too quickly. I mean, yes, the grand jury in Minnesota or uh, Missouri may have not indicted the may not have indicted the police officer Darren Wilson who was involved in that, but I honestly think that um, I honestly think that I think that everyone needs to just take a minute and relax. Seriously, everyone just needs to take a minute and relax and understand that understand that what they're doing um, understand that this isn't the end of that case. Like, this isn't, oh, we're done, that's it, we're not going to do any more for this, that's all we're going to do. No, there's more to come out of all of this. And I think that we need to understand that what the grand jury is doing is um, it, it, you can say that they screwed up or that they messed up or whatever, and that's fine. But until we have, say, the federal investigation completed, we can't really assume that they that the officer Darren Wilson is completely off the hook, at least for now. Um, and to switch over to New York, the grand jury found that the officer in that case, I forgot his name, was also not indicted for choke or choke holding a choke holding Eric Garner, I think it was, choke holding him to death. It was ruled a homicide. It was ruled a or it was ruled a homicide by the medical examiners, whoever examined what actually happened. But even then, even with the evidence from that and the evidence from that video, it just nothing actually came from it, and that's a shame, honestly. Um, I think that they probably should have done more digging, done more research into that because I mean you could see it blatantly. What they did was wrong, and you know it doesn't matter if the guy was big, if the guy had pre-existing medical conditions. That doesn't even really matter at this point. There are plenty of ways to take down that guy without completely chokehold him because like you do this, you're cutting off circulation. If he's saying I can't breathe, he's probably saying it in a way that that's the only thing he can really do because he's weakened so much. So, and of course, officers will disagree with that, and that's fine. I'm not. I'm not going to sit here and say that the officer was wrong. I'm not going to sit here and say that the guy was wrong. I'm not going to say either way. I am going to say that we also need to be patient and let the federal investigation finish up with all that stuff because we don't have all the evidence. Honestly, we need to be patient. We need to let the federal investigations go through for both Detroit, or not Detroit, for Ferguson and New York City, and just say, you know what? Let's let those investigations come out with whatever that they can find. Maybe they'll find better evidence and hopefully use the evidence that's been shown on social media, shown on news media and all that stuff. Hopefully they'll use all of that and they'll actually hopefully maybe some justice will be served to those families who lost their loved ones. I apologize. I mean, I directly can't apologize for it because I'm not the one who did it. I probably would not have done it in either case. But at the same time, we have to be patient. There's still a federal investigation that we're all seeming to forget about. I'm not saying everyone is, but it's kind of not being brought up enough. For those who protested, that's great. It's a great thing about our country. It's the First Amendment. And I said this in a separate video that was a message to America. For those who protested calmly, who spoke their opinions, and let their words do the talking, you are the good people. You're the ones who walk through. Yeah, sure, you blocked some traffic, whatever. It's not like you were killing things or burning stuff down. For those who looted, you are a separate crowd. You are what we call a bunch of idiots. Like, for example, the things that happened last Monday. That was uncalled for. Simple as that. That was uncalled for. All the burning, all the looting, all that stuff, uncalled for. I'm pretty sure that a lot of those guys were not people who lived in that city when those specific areas of protesting happened. But whoever you are, you're stupid. You ruined the lives of people who are trying to make it, make, not really a name for themselves, but make a nice living, doing what they love to do, doing what they do best. I don't care if it was a franchise or a locally owned business. You ruined those people's lives by looting, by setting things ablaze and all that stuff. Just because one person died doesn't mean that you have to ruin the lives of other people, The families of those two people, those lives will change forever. And yes, we can't bring them back. But you're not helping when you start looting and rioting and all this stuff. For those who were protesting calmly, you're not in that group. You're the ones who are keeping the peace and just walking through. And that's what we need. looking at all this, all these the recent BS that's happened recently, I think that we need to all understand, all understand that we have problems here in this country. There are a lot of problems in this country. A lot of them happen within the confines of the justice system, and they suck. We've seen examples of why they suck right here. But in order to affect change, we need to be a part of the solution. And yes, protesting is one thing. Letting our opinions be heard is one thing. For those who think that they can go in there, go into the confines of American government, American justice, and say, you know what, we need to fix our policies to where we can make a positive change for the world. That's what you need to do. You want to change, be a part of the solution. I'm not saying that everyone is cut out to be a part of the government, and that's fine. I'm not going to say I want to be a politician, because politics is one thing, but this is straight up common sense. It's common sense. And a lot of us are not using common sense, police officers or anyone. And yes, there's violence all across the country. Black, white, Hispanic, whoever. It's not even race at this point. It's a matter of straight up bull that's happening. It's happening across the country. Call it race if you want to, that's fine. I see it as there's a problem in this country and it needs to be fixed. Or at least there needs to be improvements. We're never going to have a perfect justice system. We're not. But we can get there. We can get to a point where we don't see consistent injustices. And you know what? Half of that may be the media hyping things up. It may be that. The other half is this is the other reason why the media is there. They want to hear what you say, they want to hear your opinions. Do something about it. You don't like what the media is doing right now? Do something about it. Let those producers at CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, The Blaze, Newsmax TV, BBC World News, all those news entities, let them know that you're tired of seeing the BS that's going on right now. Write them emails, write them numerous emails, send them tweets, write on their Facebook pages. There's so many mediums you can use to affect this change. And Tomas, you're late because you missed an entire spiel that I was talking about. So you might want to rewind the stream a few minutes. So honestly, to bottom line everything, do I think there was injustice in what happened in Ferguson and New York? Yeah. Do I think that there is a problem with our justice system? Probably. Can we affect change? Yes, we most certainly can. I mean, honestly, there's two sides to both of these stories. Yeah, it is twofold, honestly. And I understand that. Like, I looked at that, it's like, police don't need to be in riot gear, or not riot gear, SWAT, or army gear, military gear. They don't need that. No cop in this country needs that. You don't need a big old AK-47. You don't need that. You have a pistol that you should almost never use. Like the only time you should ever use a pistol is that if your life is within 3 seconds of being ended by somebody, that is the only time you would ever use a gun, honestly. Um, Police shouldn't have a gun being pointed at them all the time, you know? Or shouldn't point a gun at suspects, all the time, it's just stupid. Um, Good Lord, they did not fill up my drink very much. Anyway, it bothers me in a sense that I can't. Hold on. Justice is also definitely carried out differently for whites. I mean, how many times have you seen white people with guns being talked down in the same news cycle, hearing black people being shot down before they being confirmed for having a weapon? Yeah. Do I think that there is some racial insensitivity nowadays? I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that there isn't, because there is. I will say that we have progressed a lot further than we were 40, 50 years ago. But all this can change. We can affect positive change in this country. I think that's what we need to do. This is what needs to happen, So if you know people who feel my opinion is great, feel my opinion is wrong, whatever, speak it out. I'm probably going to download this episode and cut out this first part of the show, and then have it as a second video. So honestly, I think there needs to be more discussion. There needs to be more civilized, calm discussions about all this stuff. Well, we need to have our leaders in government be like, you know what? This is a problem. We need to find out a solution for it. And hopefully our Congress, our president, and all the people who make laws in America can actually come up with solutions. Maybe. Maybe they can't. I don't know. But I can tell you that there needs to be change.